Ezra Stewart's Little Book of Forgetmenots. Stop it! Oh my gosh! Stop it, you guys! Out of here! Go! My cats. Okay. Ramble first. To be or not to see, we want to be with you and me. To say to you the cavern coo would not be in a lot of you. I hope you know I love you lots, we get to dream these dreams of knots. If you were in the biggest thing, I'd get to be your ding-a-ling. To hope for us is to pray away, we get to go to you we say. I hope you know I want my mind, to say to you you are my line. If you were not tied in a bit, we'd get to see who had the wit. If I were in a Shabburn Creek, I'd get to show you my mythique. To say to you we want some more, we get to see my vine of lore. If you were in my biggest bird, I'd get to be your biggest turd. We get to hope and pray today for you, to me, to us today. If you made me within this thing, we'd get to be a cavern sing. I hope you say to me you like to go to me with me to you in spike. To say to you we stray from this, we get to go to cavern mist. The imperial lot of cavernous spot, if we could be a dream forgot. If you were not a part of me, we'd get to see if you could be. If you could do a cavern too, I might just be with you in flu. To say to you we speak our kind, we get to go to you rewind. Red Sea, Ezra Stewart. This story is not for the faint of heart. If you read it wrong, strange things may happen. Strange things may happen anyways, but who knows? Who knows? Alfred took a bow. His final performance of the night was met with overwhelming applause. See? Okay. This book is not for the faint or the weary. Read this straight, you may faint or grow tired. We get to see a PC percussionist. See? For you, for me, the all is three. We get to go to you to say, today, MLK, suck. You get to go to me to say, this is not a joke. Sweet slow baby. To say to you that I am a made man might be a little misleading. I have had many jobs and errands throughout my life, not the least of which was looking after Saul Belleron. He was the first and the last in a line of descendants of the great Balashuka. Now if you are still here and would like to listen, I will share with the fan binders. I would like to begin by saying how happy I am to be able to write this story for you. My name is Leisha Kylo, and I have been working hard on this for quite some time. The differences found here between the manuscript and these documents are duly noted, but not quite that important. We will begin. I grew up in a small city in the further west part of the Midwest. I was swept up by this school, though, the School of Science. The School of Science is not a very hard place to succeed, as you might imagine, but it is a little more difficult than the public schools and private schools found around the country. The School of Science is more formally known as Vanderbuth School, but it is not commonly found to be called that. The School of Science is a great place to be and reside if you want to get a natural education. To wit, I have been here for 5 months on end with no end in sight. It looks as though everything I wanted to learn, all my greatest fantasies, have been fulfilled. The School of Science takes no pulled punches, but may be an even greater place for one to live. Now, in order that we get to know each other better, I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of a wanderwhack? It is not the easiest thing most people know, but it is a proper noun. It is quite the thing to see if you haven't seen one. It's like an intelligent explosion. An intelligent explosion. It is quite the thing to see. I hope you know that this is not something that I'm just making up on the spot. I hope you know that a lot of work and hardness presents itself at every turn, and the best thing we can do is just keep on going and hope for the best. But anyways, a Wonderwack is one of the more primitive forms of the advanced sciences. It's advanced science, but it's one of the most simple, is what I mean. I hope you know that this is not something to play with carefully at home. It can get you into big trouble. It's an explosion, like this, or that, or something. Anyways, I want to say this to you. I tried a Wonderwack in self-defense against a wolf that attacked me in the forest. It was not a pretty sight. The wolf practically, well, it kind of exploded, a little bit. I hope you know that Wonderwacks are not the best thing to use if you get attacked. But I was a little spooked, a little frightened. I hope you know. I just hope you know. To finish this part of my essay, let me say that I want you to have a nice day and everything. Have a nice time and enjoy yourself. That's what it's about anyways, isn't it? The School of Science was located in the upper regions of the Midwest. The school sought out people of great scientific talent to fill their positions at the school. The school sent out letters every year asking people to come and join the school. The last thing you would want to do would be to miss such an opportunity. Not every year did something as grand and glorious as this come up. Science is a wondrous thing to behold if used correctly, and the science taught at the School of Science never ceased to amaze. I hope you know that nothing you could do or ever could do would make me think any less of what you are going through. I hope that to mean something good anyways. Back in my day, words meant something. Well, they still do, but, I don't know. I hope you like to hear me ramble. To say to you, we like to go. The School of Science is located in the middle of Minnesota. It is a very hard place to succeed at, but not altogether friendly to unfamiliars. The school was established back in 2103 quietly as an outstanding school, but was not known to the public. The school quickly grew to a size of 3,000 to 4,000 students. Its large premises was accommodable to most of the people. The school sends out invitations to students each year to join their campus. The school takes on only about 750 new students each year. The older students grow tired and get restless before too long. That's why the school takes a normal 4 years to complete. Everyone knows that going to the school is a worthwhile but dangerous undertaking, since many people have been injured and gotten hurt there. The hopes from the school are that they can keep as many people safe as possible and increase the amount of learning that goes on. This is accomplished through many means, but the most important one is the vast amount of teachers they have on staff. This school was started in 2103. Jade Amarak was not the most likely candidate to go to this school. She didn't receive the best grades in school and wasn't willing to compete too hard in the school activities, but she made her case by the great imagination she brought to the table in everything from astrophysics to sublevel terra. She thought she would never be one of the ones chosen to go to this school, and in fact she had regarded it as a sort of myth or unattainable hope, but it was certainly brought home to her how real the school was when she received the invitation letter. Jade took it in stride. She informed her parents and her brother and went on her way through the rest of her school year and made it to the school the following year. When she arrived on the campus, she thought that she had walked into some great futuristic city. It was a bustling campus with great silver-white buildings everywhere that symbolized the strength and growth of a post-industrial world. She had never seen anything like it before. The stories she was told about the place were mostly untrue, but not far-fetched in essence. The place looked like a great utopia. The meaning of that is paradise. Jade had her things, which were a few sets of clothes and some trinkets from her family. She set out to find her dorm. The room was located in the upper floors of a high-rise in the mid-right of the campus. The view was stunning. She could see as far as she could see, just all tall buildings and houses and everything in the distance. The effect was caused by an illusion in the school's campus. The perimeter of the school was lined in holographic foil, which caused one to look into misleading things in the distance. But oh, did it work! It was one of the most beautiful things she had ever seen. It really felt like she was living in some downtown place, just like at home. Her room was furnished. It sported a bed, a couch, a TV on a TV stand, an oven, microwave, fridge, etc., etc. But the most stunning thing to her was still the big window in the living room. There was no way to walk out onto a porch or anything. The high-rise was too tall for that, but she felt like she could anyways due to how large the window was. There were electronic shades that offered to cover up the picture if the sun was too bright, or in times when sleep was desired. Jade felt just at home. The view from the biology lab was another story. The first floor, a first floor room with not much of a window, was her home for her biology lessons. It was an old-fashioned room with not much to speak of other than the skeleton hanging in the front of the classroom. There were shelves near the ceiling around the perimeter of the room that sported nice objects, but none of it was as great as the skeleton. Jade took a seat. In walked a short, pudgy man of maybe 50, leaning on a cane and wiping his bald forehead. He glanced around the room. "Not too much for style, eh?" He said this in a facetious way so that the schoolmates knew he was subtly mocking his hair. They laughed. "Still, I have to say it's better than the last few classes I had. Someone came in wearing a polka dot dress." The class was silent. "Anyways, let's get started. This class is biology. Biology and its functions. We will learn about biology in here and also conduct experiments to learn about its behaviors. We will look at cells, bones, and all sorts of..." He went on. The class was very interested. The school was just starting to darken in the night when Jade got out of her first day of classes. "Not so bad, eh?" A boy came up beside her, someone who was in one of her classes she was in that day. "No, not really." "I'm Jack. Jade. Nice to meet you." They walked together to the dorm building. "I'm in the next one over. See ya." "Oh, I didn't know I was being personally escorted. Thank you." The boy left. Jade got up to her floor and looked around. The room was already a little of a mess because she had left some clothes on the couch. She tidied up a bit. A dresser had been provided for her. She put her clothes in and started working on some dinner. She came up with a pork sandwich for dinner. The fridge was already stocked with a few days of food when she got there, so it wasn't too hard for her to whip something up. The food was delivered to each floor weekly by an automatic dispensary that reached each floor just from the ground level where the deliveries were made. People would just have to go pick up their food sometime during the day and take it back to their unit. Jade was laying in bed. She was thinking about home back in Wisconsin and all the friends she had left behind. Then she was thinking about Jack. She didn't know what to do. The next morning she got up early and made some eggs over toast. They were scrumptious. She went down to campus and walked around a while to see what she could see. She still had a few hours left until classes started, and she wanted to get to know the campus a little more. The coolest building she came across was the aquarium. The aquarium was filled with all sorts of creatures and was used for all purposes, as studying, entertainment, relaxation, and for help. The students could jump into some of the homes of fish and swim with them if they wanted at certain times. It was meant to be all-inclusive. The coolest fish Jade saw there had a yellow belly and blue underfins. It had prickly sides though, so it looked a little obtrusive, but Jade didn't mind. She was used to scary-looking animals. Jade finally made it to her class. It was biology again. She didn't mind. The same schedule each day keeps the hair clean anyway. Away, as she liked to say. She took a deep breath. This class had to be her favorite, she thought, looking around. It was hard to forget all the fun she was going to have here, looking at bacteria, cells, and all sorts of stuff. She could hardly wait for what she was going to learn. Her next class was algebra, which she didn't mind, but she didn't quite enjoy it that much. This was her schedule: biology, algebra, chemistry, calculus, astronomy, physics, and engineering. That was her schedule, for this semester anyways. Well, for the one after that too, but that's okay. This was her schedule for the whole year. She was laying in bed again. It had been a hard day. The introductions were over, and the teachers were already jumping into subjects which they had been hired to teach. The hardest subject for her was chemistry. She had trouble remembering the formulas and chains and stuff that she had learned just that day, so it was not that easy. Day 3, not so different from the last, but better than a lot of the ones to come, what with studying and all. She found out it was almost a given fact that students procrastinated. They did until the very last possible time to do it, and then they did it, just like that. She wondered about her father. She wondered about her mother. She wondered about her brother, her friends. Wisconsin was not so bad in the wintertime, this time of year, that it was for her, but it was much preferable to be here in her own room heated than to deal with her dad's conservative heating preferences. Jade sighed. The classes were in their third trimester now, well, 3/4 the way done. It was spring. She had learned so much. She had learned that she needed to put extra work into chemistry, but that was okay too. She had to work extra hard in each class to get good grades and all, and to learn, but it was okay. She was learning so much and having such a good time that things were seeming better than ever. She had made some good friends, and her and Jack were kind of circling each other with the unspoken and unknown expectation that someday they might be love interests. That would be something. It was the end of the year, late spring. Jade was weary from the heat and the long days. She was just about fried. She looked forward to going home for the summer to be with her family. She didn't have to do this. She could have stayed at the school over the summer, but she was deciding to go home. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Her brother was there, and he would certainly want to know everything she was learning. It happened. Just like that. The timing belt broke, the boom was up, the bus was over, and it gave way. The school exploded, just like that, and everything. What words, what words. What words we do with, and what words we do without. It always seems to me mysterious, in such a way that we cannot tell. If you want to go with me there, then just say, let's take the bell. I fell for you one time, you know, it was not in the wine we sow. I hope you know I think of you, in dreams, in nights, in dreams we swell. To hope perchance to dream of dance, we get to say to you we manse. To say to you I might have stood, we get to go to you withstood. I hope you know I want to be with you, if not with you, to see if you were not a part of me, we'd get to be with you, you see. I hope you say to me right now, that we will never milk this cow. To say to you ShamWow is fine, we get to go to dreams divine. It's quite profound when we dream of this, we go into our biggest kiss. To say to you much more we see, if you are not a lot to fee. I hope you know I love you lots. The name is Ezra, Ezra Sots. Avast and evermore to the heights of civilization. If you're reading this, matey, you're in for a treat. A great big dog treat. For you and you, and you, and you. So we begin. To say to you that the seas are fine, and the wine is good, and the honeys are good to me, then you know we are getting somewhere. If you believe in fairy tales, then you know where this is going. This is going to a place of high adventure and sensibility, to a place where even the darest dare not go. I hope you take stock of this and that and that, and everything. I hope you remember every little detail without fail. I hope you, but no, we go to this, you see, it's you, it's you, it's you, and me. To say to you I've written a lot would be an understatement. To say to you that you've never read anything like this before is probably a bold and accurate statement. To say to you that we have places to go and things to do and people to see would probably be the truth as well. If you go so far as to say that you see that up there, you see that, you must. But no, we go to this to say to you your cherry kiss. For me, for you, for us, you too. The greatest thing you will find in this life is a good set of skis. The greatest thing about downhill skiing is a rush of wind and snow on your face. The greatest thing about being up in the mountains is being in a cabin. The greatest thing about being in a cabin is the campfire. The campfire is complete. I was tired of holding out, so I moved to Mexico. Mexico City, to be exact. The best city in the world is probably, I don't know, but it probably has something to do with Japan. Now, the greatest thing I've ever eaten, probably a good steak, I don't know. Or tuna fish casserole, one or the other. I was so sick of holding out, boy. Okay, let me say this. Burp a day. Welcome. This is a safe place to be. A place where no one or no thing will harm you. In any way. Anyway, I want to say thank you. From me, Ezra Stew. To say to you so as much, we get to go to Mexico. I hope you know that Viva la Mexico is no joke. To say to you one more thing, I like cherry pie. This is the tale of the fisherman. The fisherman was out late all day, every day. He worked so hard to make his catch, but he never made it back in time for dinner. His wife fretted. Not really. His wife was good. He was good. They were prosperous. They made ends meet. Love calling. Ezra Stewart. This is a story that will make you believe in love. Love in its most pure and simple forms. Love in its form not yet to be discovered. Love. I met her in a tea shop in Peru. It was not as easy to find people then, it being the 80s and all. But even so, I saw her there, and I didn't see her again for 20 years. The thing that brought us together was my long-standing and most urgent missed connections post. My parents took me to SeaWorld when I was younger. It was a fun time for me, but not... I was tired of holding out, so I moved to Canada. Things are much simpler there. The food is good, the weather is fine for 4 months out of the year, and the fireplaces are amazing, let me tell you. The School of Science was located in East Harmond, Minnesota. It was not known for being very overt about its practices. However, it did host an annual get-together for the public. This was well attended. Jane didn't know about the school until one year she was in class and her teacher brought it up, asked the students if they would like. There was once a great willow on the bank of a grand and roaring river. This willow was home to many animal friends, but none more so than the great red-breasted robin jay. The robin jay would fly from the tree each morning in search of food. It had a nest in the tree which it shared with its female counterpart, and each spring eggs would appear in the nest. It was a good nest. The tree also boasted a great knot into which an owl lived. This was a great willow tree, one of the greatest for miles around. Its wispy branches withered down to the ground on all sides, and the ones on the water side just grazed the top of the rushing river. One day the tree was chopped down. A man. He came with a great double-sided axe and started hacking away at the tree. Thwomp, thwomp, thwomp. He was looking for firewood. The willow fell, and so did the nest. The tree was finished. The tree, unfortunately, fell on the wrong side, though, so it was swept away down the river. The man hadn't done a good enough job on which side of the tree he was hitting. So anyways, down the river this willow went, not turning back, not looking too much forward. It got stuck on a bend part way down. The man mopped his brow with the handkerchief and moved on. He had to find firewood. Not that it was cold out or anything, just that he needed a way to cook the meat that he had gotten, a fresh killed deer. He was sitting at the fire at night eating the meat he had found. He had been able to scrounge up firewood from another tree. Munch, munch, munch. He ate like an animal. He was afraid of the nightly things, beasts and vermin of all sorts, just waiting for him to fall asleep so they could pounce. But he slept close to the fire. The fire protected him. He had infinite protection. So it was morning. He wanted a way to cross the river. The places he had found were too deep to cross. So he went back to the riverbank and looked for more trees. He found some farther up the river. He cut them down. The trees just barely reached the other side of the river. He was satisfied. He lashed the trees together with a great rope he had made out of the hair from the animals he had caught. He lashed the trees together, and they were sturdy. He found a nearby rock to station at the foot of the tree to keep it from moving downstream anymore. He tested his hard day's work. He crossed the stream with ease, even though the water below was rushing madly. He was almost finished when, oh no! A great gust of wind came and just knocked one of the trees free from its home. Down the river it went. Chris T. She was standing there on the cement, looking forlorn. She was so pretty. I couldn't believe it was her. Yes, oh yes, avast. Hey there, you are, matey. Guess what it is today? My birthday. Oh yes. How did you know? Oh yes, oh yes. Oh. Bronbrito, 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 Bronbrito. To say to you a word so great that you would never err mistake. The name is Ezra Stew. I know you want me to come for you. I want to bring Bronbrito back. I want to see your tesseract. I want to be inside your behind. I want to see if we'll unwind. I want to say to you one word, if you would know its banner bird. If we could go to you right now, I'd say to you, you are my sow. I say to you, put on the keef, we want to see this banner reef. To say to you, we go so far, we get to be within a mar. That was Ezra Stewart's Little Book of Forgetmenots by Ezra Stewart.